Oh, a countdown
Go.
even. Oh, so
Oh,
how do we um how do we know when people join and stuff? Do I have to
so
look on the on Subs?
I keep the Substack tab open, but I only pay attention to the chat. So just
Does
don't.
it?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't pay the mute the audio from it.
Right.
There it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but you'll see it in the live session. It takes a minute for the RTMP to pick it. So
Alrighty.
we're gonna give it a few minutes to let people
Oh.
come in, or whatever.
Oh, I thought I clicked mute and it didn't work. Okay, now it's muted.
Okay, are you sure?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. All right. There we go. So. All right. Yeah, there. All right. So now I have that. So let me divide up my windows so that my windows are. Yeah, there we go. And then we're gonna tile. We'll tile my workspace. There we go. All right. Cool. No, I want. There we go. I want to tile the workspace. There we go. That's better. Abort. Yeah. Okay. So, do I have too many windows open. I have way too many windows. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
I've
all right.
always
So
got
now we have.
tons of windows.
Yeah, we had
tabs.
tons of people show up. All right. So, Brandon, go for it.
Well, today I thought we would talk about being sad. Well, it's sad as in seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, yeah. That's a perfect one.
Well, I thought, it's coming to that season, and we're kind of in that season for a lot of people. So, if you're not familiar, seasonal affective disorder usually occurs. Well, it occurs in the season. For most people, it occurs during fall and winter. But there are some people that it affects instead during spring and summer. That's not common, but most people it's fall, winter because of the weather, especially, of course, if you live in northern regions, it's to affect you more than people in Florida, Southern California. But it's not exclusively due to the weather, because there are still people in southern regions that experience it. So, obviously sometimes there can be more to it than just the weather. Have either of you ever, or anybody in the chat, has anybody ever experienced seasonal affective disorder?
Yeah.
Have you
Oh, yeah.
experienced depression
Yeah.
that's localized?
Yeah, I have actually. And so I even had to get one of the little lampy things that shines on you, because that lighting effect, solves or helps procure the sad effect. I get very depressed during the winter time. I mean, hugely so. Onyx Rose, what's your experience?
So I don't really get the seasonal affective disorder. I have bipolar disorder. So I do get more manic episodes than I get depressive episodes. I also get mixed episodes. So that's when there's a little bit of depression mixed in. But I don't usually get seasonal affective disorder. No.
Now, some people might get just a little, I don't get the winter blues, I guess you would call it. That's not quite this actual depression, you know? I mean,
Right.
everybody, oh, sorry, I'm getting kind of a glare. But, you know, everybody gets down, gets the blues once in a while, you know? And there are a lot of people who are a little more down during the winter, though it may not go as extreme of a depression. But one of the reasons that it happens during the fall and winter is because of the reduced daylight. You know,
Yes.
there's reduced sunlight, which reduces your melatonin, reduces serotonin, which is a chemical associated with your happiness, your well-being. And for some people, that's more affected than others. And it may bring your levels farther down than it would for others.
So there's a definite correlation to hormone level and the changing of the season. So light exposure can affect. So for a person who's on HRT, winter's darkness can intensify mood instability. It can affect disorienting, doubling effect, where both the seasonal changes and the hormonal adjustments can make the dysphoria tremendously worse. So there's a correlation there. Yeah, very much so. I would agree.
Have you ever I don't know, I don't like your like living situation and like that, but have you moved a northern region to a southern or vice versa? And if you have any kind of difference when you've done that? Not just you, anybody in the chat or whatever.
I have never lived in the north. I've always lived in the south, or what's called the mid-south. I guess Texas, Texas, Georgia. I live in Atlanta area, Atlanta metro. And so I lived in Florida for a little bit. It was always hot, whenever it dropped to 74, people were wearing their puffer jackets. It was a party when it was 74. But, I've never been in places where it was really, really cold. And therefore really gloomy and dark. Places where I would consider that would be like the Pacific Northwest, where during the winter it may be a little bit more gloomy. And I don't know if that's correct. That's just the impression that I get. But I can see something like SAD like affecting me maybe more in that kind of area. But down here, it doesn't really affect me that much. I can see what you're saying, Wendy, about the gender dysphoria, though. In that instance, with the hormones, maybe, yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on your personality too. Like, Corinne in the chat, Corinne said that she loves it she's much happier in Maine, and some people really love the winter. I do not like the winter. I do not like the cold, and so that it's not just the sunlight, decreased sunlight and that kind of thing. I don't like being cold, and so that adds to like the negative emotion behind all of that. And if you like the cold, if you don't like the extreme heats, yeah, maybe the northern region's better for you. And so then the affect disorder may not occur for you in the fall and winter. Those are, and some places, for some people, it may be, like I said, it can be the opposite, where they and seasonal affective disorder in the spring and summer because their the favorite season, I guess, in the winter is over, and so that might cause some lowered emotions. What were you?
Well, I was just going to make a correlation to social isolation as it relates to that weather pattern.
Oh.
And let me say this.
Right.
There's a correlation here in the opposite that I know Onyx Rose will agree with when I say this. So in the wintertime, social isolation gets worse because it's colder and you're not going to go outside.
Right.
And when that social isolation occurs, that causes your depression levels to get higher. Well,
Right.
here's the deal. On the flip side of that, when you live in this state in the middle of fucking July and it's 100% degrees humidity and 98 degrees outside,
Ooh.
you're going to socially isolate because you're not going to go out.
Right.
I don't. Fuck that.
Right.
I don't want to go outside and take a deep breath in and then spit out a mouthful of water because that's how high the humidity is.
100. It's crazy. It's crazy hot and humid down here. It's not. I do stay inside during the summer. I stay inside during like the heart of winter. And, my social in real life social pool is pretty small, so we go place to place. That's kind of sad, but it's all right, cool. I would like a larger social in real life, but in order to do that, I have to brave the elements, and that I'm not really ready to do.
No. And then even further leaning back into winter is the dysphoria caused by layered clothing.
Yeah.
I find myself, as a trans woman, I find myself buying the shit out of sweater dresses because those aren't near as dysphoric. But if it gets cold enough, I have to put on a jacket and I have to put on warm clothing. And that's viscerally dysphoric to me. And I can't reconcile that.
I am not big with the jackets. I like wearing dresses. I wear dresses everywhere. In the wear tights because it's colder. Or leggings, I should say. Maybe not tights, but leggings.
Right.
But I hate wearing jackets because they consume me, and it's like I don't know. I feel like a potato.
Right.
I'm already kind of a potato, but I feel like even more one.
I feel like a bigger fucking potato.
Right.
Well, as far as seasonal affect disorder goes, you are statistically more likely to get it in the northern regions, but it's in the fall and winter. At least in the U.S., a lot of our major, at least all of our holidays are in during this time as well. So it's not just there, because we've got and then Thanksgiving and Christmas and then New Year's. They all kind of happen all at once, and then when all of those are over, a lot of times there is a very steep decline in mood because we build all of this up. We have our family gatherings and the food and everything, and then it's all over. And it's like that can be a trigger of depression also. And because it happens during the winter, that can be kind of a compounding factor for the seasonal affective disorder, not just about the weather.
Huh. No.
But do you guys have any kind of um, feelings about those holidays, and like, does your depression? Do you notice any kind of depression getting worse during this time of year?
I, I'll let Onyx Rose answer that question first, actually.
Um, you know, yeah. Say the question one more time.
Oh, just if during this time of year, like because of the holidays and everything, do you have any kind of depression or feelings associated with the holiday?
Okay,
Does
so
it
yeah.
expound?
So, holidays spent with my family. I have to mask pretty much all the time with my family, and it's exhausting. It's been like this for as long as I can remember. My family is just like, I am the black sheep in my family, like amongst the black sheep. And it's just to the point where I can't tell them anything about my life. We didn't see each other for 3 years after I came out. It's just been a shit show. So having to spend time with them over the holidays is problematic, and certainly makes my mood go down. It makes me angrier. It makes me dysphoric in the sense that, not in the sense that I can't wear what I want or be who I am, but in the sense that I'm always going to get misgendered. I'm always going to get dead named. My family's always going to treat me like, I was before I transitioned, who they've always seen and they've always believed I've been, so yeah, it's a pisser in that way.
So
I
what
mean,
do you do then do you combat that at all? Or do you try to
Well,
avoid any of
so
that? Or
I avoid it by avoiding my parents and my family as much as possible. So when I'm with them, I set like pretty much a 2 to 3 hour limit. We get there early, maybe 10 to 15 minutes early, and then we leave 15 minutes before the 3 hours are up, and that's it. And that's pretty much been a strict rule between me and Egg, for the last 20 years. And so it'll continue to be a rule until my parents pass, or we just decide to not get together as a family on my side anymore. The way I combat that is come home. I don't drink, so I come home, maybe do a little 420, like get blasted that way, and just chill. Talk online. I spend a lot of time online. Um, I have Discord groups, stuff like that, and that helps a lot. Friendships online definitely helps. Since I don't have a lot of friends in real life, it does help online.
yeah, that kind of goes back to what Wendy was saying earlier about limited social interactions. If during the winter, that's one thing that being online has helped. We can still have connections no matter what's going on outside, no matter what the weather is or where we are. We can still make connections and keep connections. Wendy,
Right.
I mean, interestingly enough, here's an interesting sort of coping strategy. You can take a bunch of vitamin D.
Yeah.
You can take a vitamin D supplement. Guess what? That's going to make it go away. But yeah, I mean, you don't normally. Maybe you're not experiencing a vitamin D deficiency. That's because that's where SAD is like a physical affectation. Maybe it's an emotional spectrum. And so, yeah, the thing that Onyx, micro connections can keep you rooted and in the ground. Just like, I mean, if you're white knuckling through winter alone, do shit like this. do a live session in the middle of the day and talk with people. This
Right.
kind of emotional connection, this kind of social interaction can pull you out of that feeling. Because you feel included and you feel heard. And, when you're depressed, feeling included and feeling heard are things that you need to get past the fact that you're depressed. But the other thing that I guarantee you, Brandon, if you're a seasonal affective disorder affecting person and the winter hits and you get depressed, I promise you, if you dance naked in your living room, you'll feel better.
That may be true. Any kind of
Well,
dancing, though.
But I want to watch.
yeah, I that I haven't done that. No, but that does lead into, I mean, we're kind of getting to it anyway, but kind of the coping strategies or the how we combat that depression during winter. And you've already mentioned some of them, but different strategies to kind of prevent, to I don't know if I want to say cure, but maybe eventually to help get rid of that seasonal affect, the affective disorder. And yeah, one of the ways is with more connections. Unless those connections are negative and cause even more depression, you might want to avoid certain connections. I think one thing especially is to be self-aware. This is not something that I don't think you should just ignore and hope it goes away.
No.
Because a lot of it is, like we were talking about, it is physical. It happens. You can't ignore biology. You can't ignore the chemical reactions that are happening in your body. I mean, they're going to happen anyway. And trying to help the problem. So first of all, just to be self-aware that, okay, this happens consistently year after year. Every fall or winter, I get depressed. So head it off. First of all, plan things ahead of time to where you're either going to avoid people or be around other certain people. Plan events, things to look forward to. It's always, Halloween and Day of the Dead and Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's and all that. But then after all that is over, a lot of times, like I said, after the wrapping paper is torn up and thrown away and everything, we kind of get down. It's like, well, it's all over. Have to wait till next year or whatever. But still things we can look forward to. I mean, there's the Chinese New Year, which happens a little later in January, I believe. I don't remember the date, but even if you're not of that origin, it's still a fun thing to participate in. You can still go and see exhibits and things that celebrate the Chinese culture and, learn and celebrate the Chinese New Year. Find out what year you were born, year of the dog or the rat or dragon or whatever it is, and
there's certainly an argument.
Yeah, and then
there is certainly an argument for dealing with seasonal changes. Because all seasonal changes affect everybody in different ways. But there is certainly an argument to be made for engaging in multiculturalism to deal with that. I had never really thought about that from that perspective, but by the same token, I was forcing my druidism on people when I lived in Ansley doing brunches every Saturday because that was a Druid practice. But people came to my house and ate food and they were happy. So maybe that averted those semblance of feelings. So yeah, there's validity in what you're saying. It's definitely a way to cope with that feeling.
Another thing, extending some of these, like Christmas, you don't have to have everything on Christmas Day. It's not about the day, it's about what you're celebrating. You can extend it through January. You can have a celebration mid-January of gift giving or whatever that you might do. And one thing I do with my Christmas decorations, because to me that's I get a little depressed when I take all the Christmas decorations down, the house is all blank again, because I put up a lot of stuff on Christmas. I just throw up Christmas all over, basically. And so I I take it down gradually. Like, I'll take the Santa Claus stuff and the Christmassy stuff some down and leave up the winter stuff, so there's still decoration, because the winter extends through, we have freezing spells through March and April. But so I leave the winter stuff, the snowy stuff, the snowmen and stuff like that. That's not specifically Christmas. That's, it's winter. It's still winter. I'm leaving it up.
If I put Christmas decorations up, I'm lazy. The fuckers don't go down until February.
If we even bother to put them up, they're up for like 6 months, 7 months. But what I find interesting about the holiday season is that after January 1st, I become more chill. I become more relaxed, and that's because everything is happening.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Friends' houses, parties, or like little get-togethers. Parents, brothers and sisters, siblings, everything's happening. And then around January 1st, January 3rd, everything calms down. And then I'm like, okay, I can take a breath.
Yeah, and it depends on your personality and your situation too. Like, you
Right.
might need that after all that stress. You might need a little bit of downtime. And then, but for some others, all of that excitement suddenly disappears, and they might feel a sense of loss from not associating with all the family and the gift, all that. So again, you have to kind of be self-aware. For some people, like you might want that break,
Right.
and
right.
then for others, it might be too much of a break.
Here's the thing about
that.
I hate to say this, but emotionally speaking, joy requires digestion. When you rush celebrating things, that's like rushing to the table to wolf down food to immediately turn back around and fall the fuck asleep. And, I hate to use the analogy, but the moment slides down your throat, before your tongue can even kind of register what that tastes like. So there's credibility in savoring the moment and making the moment longer. If you extend your celebrations, this is why I love being a Druid, because I celebrate Yule. So for me, Yule starts on the 12th of December and goes all the way to the 24th. And so, it's drawn out. and there's a warmth over that entire week of me cooking food and seeing people, and it makes that experience. But the visceral experience there is that the human body needs to absorb happiness. Happiness isn't something you can shoot up and it's there. You have to take it in. You have to digest it. You have to let the oxytocin pool and spread all over your body for you to actually enjoy that activity. So brief celebrations just leave us hungover and unfulfilled. Longer ones actually allow us to feed on that warmth and feel it, and as a result, enjoy it to a greater extent. So I agree with you 100%, Brandon.
Yeah, and that goes for I was talking it past Christmas, but it's also you can start it earlier as well. Like I know some people, they get upset about they start seeing hearing Christmas music in November or whatever, and people putting up their trees in November, and they're like, it's too early for Christmas. And I think Christmas is one day out of 365 days a year. Why not spread it out a little more and start Christmas music early? Who cares? I don't mind hearing Mariah in November, and I
No, not at all.
no, it's like why
November.
not? I mean, it's just yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
did you put your Christmas tree up
put your
already,
tree up
Brandon?
early.
Is that what you're telling me?
I do. I still have my Halloween decorations up, but Day of the Dead was just yesterday, so I'm gonna take down. See, this is another thing with Halloween. I have fall and Halloween decorations up in my house, of course. So I'm gonna take down the Halloween stuff, like the jack-o'-lanterns and skulls and things like that. But I've still got fall leaves, pumpkins, and things that are still associated with fall. And I'll leave those up until my Christmas decorations go up, and I'll just swap them out. Christmas will be vomited all over, then the fall stuff will be put away, but and then that'll stay up till I don't know, March probably. Oh, and last year actually I left my Christmas tree up. I took all the Christmas decorations off of it, and I put up hearts and little Valentine all over it, and I made a Valentine tree.
That's awesome.
So my tree stayed up. My tree stayed up through November 14th, and then I don't have enough St. Patrick's Day stuff to go on the tree. So like at that point I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to take it down now. But I mean, I do keep up a while.
You can't keep repurposing the tree.
I mean, if I had enough St. Patrick's Day stuff, I would make a St. Patrick's Day tree, and then I would put up eggs and bunnies and stuff, and make an Easter tree.
Yes,
and of course, that would go through April. Now, a Mother's Day, I don't have enough Mother's Days. That's I'm gonna have to take it down in May.
Oh. The gods love you, Brandon.
But why not?
The mother loves you, Brandon. She really does. The mother loves you.
So a few other things that I thought of that you can do if you do suffer from seasonal affective disorder. You can, like, plants. Having indoor plants, I think, helps, because that's kind of bringing the outside in, and you don't feel like it's bleak, you have living things in your house that feels like it's still kind of summery spring. There's still life in your house. You have things growing, and I think that I love having plants in my house. I don't have enough windows I don't have enough windows for all the plants that I have to fill them, but I do what I can. But
I wonder. I
yeah,
wonder
and
if.
oh.
Oh, I wonder if, like, also tending to plants kind of helps seasonal affective disorder, in the sense that you're getting outside of your head, and you're focusing on keeping these plants alive. Maybe.
Right.
So there's
That's
actually
the same thing with pets also. Go ahead. Oh,
there's
sorry. I know there's
there's
a kind of a
actually
delay, so we're talking. Oh,
there's a druidism that's attached to this very thing. And so when I was a kid, Helen, my patriarch, because my actual patriarch was a piece of shit, and I never talk about Zoe that much. But anyway, um, um, lavender, jasmine, and lemon balm in her kitchen. And that smell is so
Yes.
visceral and soothing. I mean, lavender alone is an insanely
yeah.
soothing aroma. But when you mix jasmine and lemon balm with that,
Hey,
and
right.
keeping a couple of those in your kitchen, not terribly difficult and not hard to keep alive. And that smell is sometimes enough. Now, couple that with when you're cooking in the kitchen and the kitchen temperature goes up, and
Yes.
then you get that smell, and the warmth of the kitchen hits you. Oh shit!
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, there's a feeling there.
Yes. Yeah, I love lavender, lemon balm. I don't know if I'm familiar with the smell of jasmine necessarily, but I know lemon balm and lavender.
So
Yeah, those are
lemon
great.
balm is a very soft citrus smell, and it has a mild mint tinge to it. The other three that I would recommend: rosemary, which rosemary has a pine. Yeah, rosemary has a real piney kind of a smell. And then jasmine has a buttery but floral odor on top of it. And then we all know what lavender smells like.
Right.
So pick like three of one of those four, and you'll walk into your kitchen and go, oh, and it'll be instantaneously relaxing.
What do we think about?
So the light. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to talk about light. How there's increased daylight, and you might want to turn on more lights or put in a higher wattage bulb in your living room or something like that, or put another lamp in there. Or there's also red light therapy. Now,
right.
Red light therapy is typically just used for like skin, making your skin more even, reducing wrinkles, that kind of thing. There are some people who use it who claim that it's good for depression, although there's no scientific evidence to corroborate that. But I mean, it doesn't hurt. There's no evidence that red light therapy is detrimental or harmful. And I know, like, I was a member of Planet Fitness for a while, and they had a red light therapy thing. You could go. They had it was called, I think it was called Total Body Fitness thing or something. Like, you go into this booth, tanning booth, but it was red light therapy, and it had the floorboard thing would vibrate. and it would like work kind of muscles and stuff. I don't know if it did much, but I used it regularly, and I thought it was cool. But if you have access to that kind of thing, you might want to try it out.
I would definitely try that out. Different spectrums of light have different effect. I mean, there's the whole like cold light versus warm light having an effect on you.
Right.
Your cortex is affected by warm light at night in a way that relaxes you versus in the morning cold blue light actually energizes you. And so as I sit here playing with my fidget pen, I have a fidget pen, by the way. This pen is great. It has the little top of it does that. It's like a little, almost like a joystick.
I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, but then it's tactile, so it has that's a rubber tactile sensation right there.
Yeah.
And then it twists, and the click is really strong, so you can feel it. So I need to put it down.
Let me ask about music therapy. Do y'all think that music therapy is a way to handle seasonal affective disorder in the sense of music changing mood?
Definitely. Brandon, you should comment on that.
Yeah, I played the piano and saxophone. I was a music major starting off in college, but I switched around and stuff. So I'm definitely very much into music. Has a big effect on me. I've always loved Christmas music, and so that's another reason I don't mind, starting a lot earlier in the Christmas season, listening to Christmas music on the radio and stuff. I think that helps my mood. And I don't know. I don't know why people complain about it, but anyway. But yeah, for me, that's definitely a mood booster.
I like holiday music. I start usually on November 1st, and I have a playlist that's like 3,000, 4,000 songs long of just different artists singing the same songs over and over. But yeah, I love it. It's definitely a holiday spirit vibe.
I play the piano, so I'll play for myself, just Christmas music. But not everybody has that option. But you ask your Alexa to play stuff for you and stuff like that. I don't want to trigger anybody's device. I've been told that before. It's like I have to put you on mute anytime you.
So I have to tell you. So for me, especially, there are certain settings where this happens. But it's certainly during the wintertime it gets worse. But Motown for me is so, I don't know. So for instance, every Sunday, my partner and I take our kids to the Waffle House, which is in Avondale Estates, which is right across the street from the original Waffle House. And they all know us in there, and they have a jukebox. And when we sit down at the table, I grab my phone and I play, especially in the cold months, the same 9 songs every time. And it's 5 of them are Motown songs. So the Jackson 5's, I Want You Back, Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye, you know, and when that music hits the room or whatever, it could be 30 fucking degrees outside, and I literally would not give a shit.
Oh.
Because, yeah, that sound immediately takes away the emotional state that I'm feeling. Now, here's the other thing. When I'm at home and it's really cold, disco and funk.
Okay.
Disco and funk. And Rocky Blue. I've written a shit ton of phenomenal application code listening to BB King and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, BB King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Muddy Waters, all that shit. And it's like, yeah, I could be super depressed. The minute that I hear that, it goes away.
I like music that puts me in my feels. It's just like, and especially if I'm like really anxiety ridden or depressed, because I do get a little bit of depression or like in a manic mood. The music amplifies that. So I use that to either pump myself up or calm myself down. I do use music a lot. I used to play. I don't anymore because I used to play tuba and I don't have a tuba, but I do. I think music is the answer, as the song goes, for me, in terms of therapy, along with therapy and drugs, medication, not illegal drugs, but medication, stuff like that keeps me balanced. So maybe that's why it doesn't affect me as much. My medication is helping.
Yeah, that could very well be. So that's all I have notes that I wanted to go over as far as seasonal affective disorder. But I mean, if from the chat wants to weigh in, or if you guys have any more.
I was gonna wait and see where you were gonna take the spiel before I apologize if I rushed you into any of your topic sets.
Oh no, you're fine.
But one thing so there's a couple of psychophysiological symptom addressing things that you can do. So, like the pen, textured contrast is extremely distressing. But here's the other thing, and I hate to sort of say this because by saying this, I'm saying, okay, a form of isolation actually works as a coping strategy. Weighted pressure. So, especially when it's really cold, a weighted blanket. Yes. Because the way a weighted blanket covers your sides and hugs, especially if you're an autistic person, that feeling is viscerally relaxing.
Yeah, soothing, comforting.
Yeah.
I have cats who do that.
Oh, okay. But you play with your pussy.
They really, they literally do. I sent a picture to somebody last night. I had Zoe was curled up right next on one side, and Zach was on the side. They were like tucking to the blanket. So.
But the other thing that works, and I really wanted for this to be at the end because this is not going to be for everybody. Taste sensations. Not everybody's a coffee drinker, but a hot beverage first thing on a cold snap day, whether that's tea or coffee. For me, it's coffee. If I drink a cup of coffee, the first sip of coffee, and I'm just like, oh yeah, oh that's enough. But you know, which interestingly enough, taste intensity, especially if the sensation is really really intense, um, like a ginger's burn or even a dark chocolate's bitter depth mixed with something that you're consuming, that triggers a sensation that causes there's like if you have a panic attack and you trip five senses all at once, that
Yeah.
resets your brain and your brain stops panicking.
Well, supposedly.
Well,
Right.
admittedly, for me, like the way that I do that is a cough drop, because a cough drop has a sound. There's a tactile, it's in your mouth. There's a smell. There's a sound when it rolls around against your teeth. Yeah. And then there's, like it hits like four of the five senses. And if I'm panicking,
of anxiety or something like that. That's my therapist taught me that. And
Yeah.
also, if you're having a panic attack, try to take a deep breath and take a shorter breath in the
Right.
same, and it'll
Yeah.
reset breathing.
Yeah, because you just have to reset the whole situation. But from SAD's perspective, sensory layering. So if you layer taste intensity against rhythmic movement or direct pressure, you're triggering all of those senses in the circle. And if you trigger enough of them, then it'll stop you from experiencing a feeling that may or may not have an effect. And if it has an effect, invariably it's going to be a good effect. And I don't think, I think that's going to have a positive effect. So, but that's my closing two-sentence statement. So you can take it for what it's worth. You can take it for what it's worth.
Well, I hope people got something out of this one. I don't know how much. I've trying to look back at the chat and things every once in a while just to see what people are saying or asking. But of course,
I've been watching the chat.
I guess
I've been watching the
Oh,
chat, and we've had some good interactions.
So will this? I don't know how the restream thing part works with reposting. Well,
Yeah, you should still
copy
get a
repost.
Yeah, you should still get you should still get a repost. But the reason that I asked for your socials earlier, Brandon, was because of my enterprise license with Restream. I can forward the copies of the post to your other socials. So if you have a YouTube channel, it'll go to your YouTube channel or whatever. So yeah, Onyx Rose, send me your socials so I can.
Thank you.
Yeah. So because I want everybody to get exposure. Yeah. The whole purpose in doing the multi-stream thing is to increase everybody's exposure ability. Because I'm sad to say this, but Substack exposure is going way down, and I need to increase that exposure, but I want that exposure to increase for everybody else at the same time. So yeah, everybody that participates in whatever streaming activity get benefits. Not just me. So Because I want Brandon to get discovered and make lots of money being a writer more than
Oh,
me. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. So I do think, however, I'm going to probably do a live session again tonight. I wasn't going to do one tonight because we were doing trauma, but I don't know. We'll just see. I want to get Lisa Joy on, and so.
Oh God, y'all tore it down last night. I got to say.
Oh.
Funny as hell.
Yeah, we were having a. Well, that's the thing. So let me ask you this. So Brandon, I want your thoughts too, of course, because it's important. Is like when we get 5 or 6 people going on, and it's like a party like that. I mean, I feel like that's the thing. That's the thing that I want from an engagement perspective. And as long as it works for you, I'll keep doing it.
yeah. I mean, it always depends on who the other people are and like how much some people might want to dominate conversation and that kind of thing. I thought it worked well last night. Just may depend on.
Oh no,
who's
we're
there,
not having. Brandon, we're not having the end person coming.
Yeah.
The end person's not coming in here. Oh no, I'm not doing that shit again.
Right.
I'm not doing that shit again. No way. Sorry. I don't. I hope he's slowed down a little bit. I'll just say that. I won't make any other comment therein. But
right.
Right. But yeah. Onyx, Rose, anything at the end?
No, I'm good. I appreciate y'all having me on. Like to do it again. I definitely like the topic today. I wish I could contribute more, but I just don't have a lot of seasonal affective disorder. So, no.
Miranda,
it's happened.
If Miranda says no on Thursday, I'm going to do the topic, and you will definitely have a lot.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, Brandon, are you good like 1 or 2 o'clock on Thursday for the next one? Because I'm pretty much ready to flip at this point.
Yeah. Oh, so you are doing Thursday? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again on Thursday because my like 1 to 3 window on Thursday is now wide open. So I just need a time to
should be fine. I usually have a writers group that goes on at 2 my time, but
your time is 3.
Let's see.
All right.
No. 1 o'clock for you. Yeah, noon for me. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as we're going in the
1
to 2 range. Yeah, I'm not going to go into your because I want your your writers group thing. That's way more crucial. But I'm not breaking the band up.
Sometimes
I'm doing Thursday to try to keep the band together. And I want to get you, me, Onyx, Rose, and Miranda all on a chat.
That would be fun.
I'm glad Onyx Rose. I'm glad we're able to come today. I mean, I know not everything we talk about. Like there have been subjects that have come up that I don't have a whole lot of input on, but I can usually say something, come up with something.
Right.
But it may not directly apply to me every time. So I understand. I thought everything went well today.
Bar none. Yeah. My favorite live session with Brandon and Miranda has been the sexualization and fetishization one, where Brandon started talking about down low guys. I was like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, that was a very positive. That was wasn't a positive topic. That was a very informative topic, and we went along with it. So.
It is. I'd like to do something like that, but that may definitely trigger some tears. And
Look, Onyx Rose, Brandon's cried on this live. I've cried on this live twice. Miranda's done it twice. So it's somebody else's turn. That's okay.
Well, I'm a walking tear duct, so just get ready.
Oh yeah, no, I honey, I support you 100%. I support you 100%. Brandon, Onyx Rose, thank you both.
Thank you.
Everyone else, I'll be back
Thank you.
at 7 or 7:30 or whatever, and we'll talk then.
Au revoir, à bientôt.
Bye bye.